Why is a control group important in science experiments? Imagine trying to find out if a new fertilizer helps plants grow faster. Without a comparison, how would you know if the fertilizer really made a difference? That's where a control group comes in. It's like having a baseline or a standard to compare your results against. In science experiments, the control group is a set of subjects that do not get the experimental treatment. Instead, they might get no treatment at all, a standard treatment, or a fake treatment called a placebo. The rest of the groups, called experimental groups, receive the new treatment or change you want to test. The main reason for having a control group is to see what happens when nothing changes. This helps scientists figure out if the change they see in the experimental group is actually caused by the treatment or if it's just a coincidence. For example, if you're testing a new medicine, the control group might get a sugar pill. If the experimental group gets the real medicine, comparing the two shows if the medicine really works. Without a control group, it's hard to tell if the results are due to the treatment or other factors like natural changes or the placebo effect. Control groups also make experiments more reliable. When all other conditions are kept the same between the control and experimental groups, it's easier to see the true effect of the independent variable, which is the factor being tested. For example, if you are testing how different amounts of sunlight affect plant growth, both groups should be kept in the same temperature and soil conditions. The only difference should be the amount of sunlight. This way, you know that any difference in plant growth is because of the sunlight, not something else. In science exploration and core subjects like biology and chemistry, understanding the role of control groups helps students design better experiments. When working on science projects or homework, identifying your control group and experimental group is key. It helps you follow the scientific method correctly and makes your results trustworthy. In summary, a control group acts as a reference point that shows what happens without the experimental change. It helps scientists determine if the treatment really has an effect or if the results are caused by other factors. This makes the findings more accurate and believable. For anyone studying science, knowing about control groups is essential for conducting experiments that are fair and clear.